Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Scorp, good morning. I would love to say thank God it's Friday, but over the past couple of days, I don't I don't think people understand if it's good or not just to be existing. I don't think people understand if it's good to just open your eyes and appreciate what's around you. Why? Because I believe confusion is winning. Over the past, let's just be nice and say 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday included. There have been many things that's going on that shows you that chaos, mayhem, and the big honcho confusion is all around us, right? Whether it's Charlie Kirk, right? I don't I'm not here to discuss what the man's method was, his message, none of that. I don't care. He was a racist. I don't care, whatever. Some people might say, like Brother Malcolm would say, the chickens come home to roost. It's not about that for me, right? Do we understand before that incident happened a few hours earlier and a couple hundred miles north and east of where he was, there was a mass shooting in Denver, Colorado. Uh, some kids were attacked. Some kids lost their lives, including the person that orchestrated that whole situation, right? And then we go into yesterday. Yesterday is the yesterday was that day 24 years ago when chaos ruled the world and three buildings fell. Let me rephrase that. Three buildings, quote unquote, fell in the city of New York on the clearest day that I've ever seen in my life. It was so clear. Those of you from New York, y'all know what I'm talking about. Those of you near those airports definitely know what I'm talking about. There was nothing in the sky, not even a cloud. You see those fighter jets flying through the city. If you was on that train outside, looking at the going into the city, you saw that black smoke happening at 8:45, 9:45, and they stopped the trains at around 10:30. But if you was on that train heading to that big city, you saw that building drop. The second one drop right after it, and it was just chaos. And now we turn 24 years later. We got a situation at the United States Naval Base. You got a situation at all most HBCUs, UMass. You had chaos because confusion was winning, right? Why are we allowing this to occur? How are we allowing this to happen within our lives, right? You want to know how? Here's a way, because I told you guys not too long ago that words have power. They told y'all sticks and stones won't break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's a lie. That is a forsaken lie. A man lost his life yesterday because he spoke words, whether they're truthful or not, doesn't even matter right now. It don't matter because a man had to retaliate just because a man said something that he may not have liked. He was opposed to what he said and he lost his life. I'm not here to discuss the politics of it. I'm here to speak about why confusion is winning, because we don't have our minds stayed on what really needs to matter in our lives. Peace, a peace of mind is what we need to have. I constantly say why we have to have peace. I constantly say why there should be places for you to have these conversations. But yet there are few and far in between because nobody wants to open up that they have a problem. Nobody want to open up because y'all feel that somebody's going to use what you think is wrong against you. There are people that's going to do that. Why? Because confusion is winning. But because we don't have the safe space in our own lives, in our own hearts, in our own minds, in our own souls, in our own spirits, to say, you know what, I need to talk to somebody. I need to let somebody, I need to vent to somebody, to just because I need this to get off my chest. But we are so afraid that these words that we're giving to other people will weaponize against it, will be weaponized against us. We will weaponize a so-called friend, a so-called associate, a so-called therapist, a so-called whomever. We are so afraid that that's going to be used against us that we rather be closed mouth and let our minds starve with chaos within it. That's why confusion is winning. That's why we sitting here going, look at this sad story over here. Look at this young teen over here. Look at this grown man that's mad at that man over here. Look at that grown woman that's so mad at this other grown woman that she's seeking her out to devour her. That's just the realization of life. But instead of saying, you know what, I need to let this chaos go, I need to let this confusion go, we shut the hell up and just sit there and keep bathing in it. We keep glorifying it. We keep just allowing it to win. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get nothing out of it, but more chaos, more destruction. Y'all don't want to build. Y'all don't want to have channels like this channel. Y'all don't want to listen to people that's really trying to go up and fight against, you know, for their rights. You know what I mean? Shout out to Riders. Riders, she constantly telling y'all, listen, I'm trying to do something for these kids. These kids need our safety, so on and so forth. She goes on there, she got petitions out. Y'all go seek her channel and just listen to how she is adamant and passionate about the rights of her town, the rights of the children in her town, and so on and so forth. It's a start, but we can't allow the confusion to put out the fire that's within her. We have to support any way possible, even if it's just listening to her. If it doesn't make sense for you, to you, that's fine. This is why I tell y'all we should agree to disagree. If we are listening to understand a person's viewpoint, and if we don't agree with it, you can say, I understand where you're coming from. I just disagree, right? And you can keep it going. But you got a viewpoint of where their mind is at. You don't have to go out there and retaliate because that person doesn't agree with you. But here we are today. I'm not, like I said, I'm not worried about this man when the flags is at half staff, and I don't care about none of that stuff. I care about the confusion that's being created, that's being publicized around this country, around the world, around us. This is why we try to make safe havens over here. This is why we try to tell y'all, if we trying to make it better for you, it's going to be better for us, because we all can live in a world of peace. But instead of that, you got people want to be individuals instead of combining their talents as a group. But we worrying about why people is not coming together, because them same people that's asking the questions won't come together. I don't have a problem with working with somebody. I don't have a problem working with anybody when the goal is correct. If the goal is to make a better situation for somebody, I will work with you. A better you is a better us, I will work with that. But for you to for people to sit up here and say, well, we got to stop doing this, but yet won't come together. We could congregate, but we won't unite. What the hell are we sitting here for? We gonna sit here and just listen to the next person's idea? And no, if you like the idea, add to it. And if you add to it, come together and make it a solid foundation. But we don't want to do that, because that damn individual, that independent individual, that it's nothing wrong with being an individual. Don't mistake that. There's nothing wrong with being an individual, but stop being independent, because you can't take on this large thing called confusion by yourself. Guess who? You Nobody can. What you gonna do? You gonna make a mark and then run away? I was here. No, let's make it a safe space. Let's bunker down. Let's come together so somebody can say, you know what? I had so much negative thoughts in my mind, but because I seen you guys working together, it's a hope for me. Shout out to Missing Mob. They was talking about faith. We got to stop that too. It doesn't matter if you're worried about the God that you serve or you don't believe in the God. The goal should be working together. The goal should be coming to a solution. Y'all worrying about this, that, and the third. Stop attacking somebody because they're atheist. Stop attacking somebody because they're Christian, right? Instead of coming to the common ground. Let our spirits do the work. Let's touch our souls and see what we can come with together. You may not believe in a God, but you have a soul. You may not believe in religion, but you have a spirit. Let it work together. Congregate, and find a common ground. Let it be your foundation into a place to where we can harmonize and have peace instead of feeling threatened because somebody feels this way, or we feel threatened because somebody else feels that way. That's not what's going to work. What's going to work is coming together, finding a peace to combat the confusion that's going on, to combat the chaos. Until you figure that out, confusion is going to continue to win. That's just the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is this: you got to figure out how to get away from that. Seek your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. I'm fearful because I'm tired of hearing about confusion. That's what's making me stay away from having conversations. Not because nobody's listening, because I could speak this all day long. And y'all got the proof in the pudding. Y'all have the news. Hey, I'm talking about peace. Y'all see the chaos without the peace. Y'all see what happens because confusion is winning. I'm trying to find a way for y'all to have a peaceful state. My sports chat alter ego is trying to have a place for y'all to have that safe space and not look at the news, talk about sports, see about this and that. But y'all rather have the chaotic channels that y'all have or the chaotic views that y'all want to have. That's not being productive for anybody but the chaotic people. They say, you know, you don't have to be of the world to be in it, right? Some people may say you have to renew your mind, and you probably should renew it to a point to where you don't need that chaos that's circling around you. You shouldn't care about what this star is going through in the trial. You should be wondering, how can I not allow it to affect my everyday surrounding? How could I help sister so-and-so around me? How could I help brother so-and-so around me? How can I add to the peace instead of giving into confusion? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. No one is sitting there telling you that you must accept confusion. What you should be seeking is peace. What you should be seeking is quietness, humility, harmony. That's what you should be seeking. But as long as these things are going on around us, we're adding more fuel to the fire. And if we're not speaking up or taking the steps to get away from it, we're adding to it. This is why I can come on here and just say, you know what, I'm doing what I need to do because I'm tired of talk. I can't keep talking about nobody's going to make a solution or add to a solution or make a safe haven. I do this because I want y'all to know that this is a safe haven. And anytime you have a question, anytime you have a conversation, anytime you want to have that conversation, hit this channel up. I don't care if you say, listen, my Instagram is such and such, or my phone number is such and such, or whatever it is. We could find a way to have the conversation one-on-one, right? Because at the end of the day, it's for your peace of mind. It's for your letting out the frustrations of the real life situation that's going on off of this app. But people are so afraid to do that because they're going to feel weak. The Bible says when you are weak, then you are strong. I don't care if y'all don't even like the God in the Bible. The fact of the matter is the writing in the Bible is it can be truthful if you apply it to your life. It's not about serving a God. It's about you elevating to a new level. There should be a new, well, the Bible's pretty much trying to show you how to go into a new level of love, a new level of thinking, an elevation from the valley to the hills. But we always want to look at something because you weren't about honor thy slaves and all that other nonsense. Nah, you can't all, okay, it's a part of that book. I get it. I understand it. That's the confusion within the Bible. It's confusion in there as well. We have what's going on with you. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Right? And when you go through those situations, when you read things, everything in the book ain't going to be good. Everything in the book may not be conducive to you. But if you use the things that will help you to elevate to your higher self, your better self, your peaceful self, you won't allow confusion to win in your life. I promise you that. I want to damn near say you can book it. But I know there's people that's going to do bare minimum, say I tried, knowing that they didn't try, apply it to themselves, and say it didn't work for me. That's on you. It worked for me. This is why I keep trying to tell you, you can't take away from somebody's experience with a higher power. You can't take away from somebody who has experienced the walk away from confusion to peace because of a book, whatever it is, 48 Laws of Power, the Bible, the Quran, whatever it is. If it's their experience, don't try to take it away from them. Don't take it away from them. Say, yo, congratulations. I'm glad that it worked for you. How can we build on that in our society today? You may not want to read that book. So how could you pass that on to the next person? Because I promise you this, everybody needs peace of mind. Everybody do need a peace of mind. But we understand even in real life that balance is, in order to have balance, there's going to be some people that don't want the peace, and there's going to be people that want the peace. You understand? But at the end of the day, you got to know what you need in order to go get it. The same way you need to breathe to live, you should need to want that thing that is good for you in your life. Stop sitting there worrying about what the next person going to do. Here's the thing, fuck them. Excuse my language. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. You can't keep worrying about what the next person going to say if you seeking your peace. If you seeking to love and live for your family, your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mother, your father, whomever it is. The truth of the matter is we need peace because confusion is kicking our ass as a society. It may not be kicking my ass per se, but I got people that's in that fight that's submitting to confusion. Does it hurt? Absolutely. Will I do what I can to help some of these people? Absolutely. But you got to have discernment. That's another thing that comes out of that book. It allows you to have the emotional understanding, the spiritual understanding that says, you know what, that person don't want it. I could love you from a distance. But if I know I can't help you, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop loving you because of it. I just know what I provide, it won't be added to you because that's something that you won't accept. But to sit here and watch all of these things occur over the past 48 hours is madness. That's why confusion is winning. You know what it's like to sit there. I couldn't know what it's like back in the, before my generation. They had bunker drills. Why? Because they was in fear that somebody was going to drop a bomb on these people, and nuclear wars was going to happen. Bunker drills. There's people still today that's secretly building bunkers because they are so afraid that this is going to occur that they would rather be underground and safe. And that's going to be their peace of mind, that they can survive it. Survival mode is not peaceful. Let me tell y'all that. Survival mode is not peaceful because you're so worried of just making it. When you strive, and it gives you a better opportunity of peace because you're working towards something. You're working towards a goal. You're working towards getting to a higher plateau than just surviving. This is why you have to understand there must be elevations in life. Confusion can if you elevate from that, it goes from confusion to calmness, from calmness to peace. And then whatever else happens after that. But those are the simple steps. The question is, who wants it? I'm not here. Like, that's why I don't want to have debates. Because I know people is not built to have debate because they want to be right. I don't want to be right. I want it to be right. I want the words of the right things or the right actions to be on display. I don't need to be right. Let it display itself. I don't like telling people I told you so. That's why I don't do it. That's why if you sit back and listen to anything that I say, and then and the opposite is there, you never once heard me say, I told you so. Because it's not right. I don't need to be right. It needs to be right. And now that you see that confusion is winning and it is right, what are your next steps to get away from that confusion? Right? And those are things that you have to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself, how can I get away from confusion? How can I get away from chaos? Do I need to move myself physically? Probably so. But I know this, you definitely got to move your state of mind and your mind frame, the frame of mind. You got to move that. Because if you're just sitting here and you're surrounded by chaos and mayhem and peace and you don't move, is a very good possibility that it will touch you. It will add to you. And that's something that a lot of us don't need to add to us. We already have the struggles of the world. We're already worried about where's our next meal going to come from. We're already worried about, is it possible that am I going to lose my home? Is it possible that my family is not going to assist me because I'm doing the opposite of what they say? Or whatever it is that leads you to ask yourself those questions. This is why you got to find a way to add peace to yourself. Because we keep looking outside of ourselves to find it instead of finding the peace that's already within us. I keep telling y'all, you guys have the keys to the kingdom of peace if you really understand it. You are the storehouse. And I get it. I probably am repetitive. I probably say this every episode because at the end of the day, it's evident that we're missing the conversation that's being had. If it's within you, why are you not finding it? You find that confusion, you find that chaos that's within you. You always want to attack somebody. Now it's time for you to attack the enemies that's within you. To have that as Islam would say, a jihad, not the outside jihad, but the jihad within yourself, the battle to where you can control the good and the evil. You can separate the two. You can balance yourself out. That's what life is really about. It's about balance. That's why there's a yin and yang conversation, a good and bad conversation. You must understand how to control the two because everybody, you are not going to be perfect. We think sin is just the error. It is an error because we're always going to fall short. And it's not to sit here and preach to you about the Bible. It's not here to sit. We're not here to sit here and preach about the Quran. We're here to sit here to let you understand that within those books, there's millions of people that follow it because it brings peace to their lives. Right? You're not worried about the ways. I'm not worried about if somebody comes and do the things that they do, right, wrong, or indifferent, because I have a peace of mind. Even in the confusion that's going on, they said that Charlie Kirk knew he had a peace of mind because he felt what he was doing was right. He had a peace with that. He had a peace in confusion. And I'm telling y'all, that's not peace the way we feel peace is. That's PIECE. You're looking for PEACE. You want a piece of the pie. I want a piece of mind. It's a difference. Y'all gotta come. Y'all have to understand which one of those that you want. Because if you want that PIECE, you're gonna add confusion to it. If you want PEACE, you're gonna run away from confusion. The choices is yours. It's not mine. It's yours. Every individual on this planet has a choice to figure out what it is that they want in their life. And if you don't want it, you don't want that peace, hey, that's your choice. I love you, but I can't rock with you right now until you understand that's not the choice for you, right? But even with the understanding that there's going to be a balance, even with, like, they tell you to pray for everybody. I don't want nobody to pray for me because there's some people that will be praying on me. There's people that want your downfall. But if you don't have the spirit to understand who's for you, who's against you, you'll never know it. You don't have that spiritual eye, you never gonna know what's going on. But everybody got discernment, but they don't have the aspect of the spiritual observation. Everybody observes, but they only see. They don't listen. They don't read well. They don't do the things that you need to do to have the observation that it is. That's part of confusion, because you so grown that you feel like you have all the answers and you don't have a fucking clue. You don't have a clue. This is why we all need one. This is why I could say that a better you is a better us. Because if you are listening and you are saying this is me and you apply this and you say, you know what, that actually works. It helps me because now I have to do more work to help you to get to a better you. Working while it's day is a beautiful thing, because at night you can rest. Because if you rest and get ready for the morning. But if you get to that night that other book is talking about, you ain't working no more. It's over. What will be your legacy? What will people say about you? And that's going to happen, right? And we'll never know what they're going to say about us. We can only hope and wish that they say the things that we really stand for. But we know a few people that's going to say something different. Those people right around you, your children, your husband, your wife, your nieces and nephews. What you put into this world, you're going to get out of it. That's reaping what you sow. This is why you need to read those religious books, and don't be religious, but be spiritual. Let it add to your spirit. Let it sizzle in your spirit. I don't care if you don't believe in it. If you read the book and put that context into yourself, dare I say, you may change your mind. You might change your mind about certain things. All right, they may not. I don't believe in that God in that Bible, but I know that word works for me because I applied it and it worked. Ask the alcoholic that applied this and they stay away from alcohol. Ask the drug addict that applied this to their life and they stay away from it. You can't take away from somebody's experience. That experience is what allows them not to believe, but to know. That's what allows them to have faith in what they're talking about and what they're doing. Because the little experience that they have, you can't take it away from them. That's a personal experience. Stop trying to shoot it down. Stop trying to take it away from people. Because when you do that, you're adding to confusion. That's just real. Riaz is a Muslim. I never knocked him. I encourage him. If that's what brings him, if Allah brings him peace, then Allah bring him peace. Y'all say Jesus bring you peace because he's the way, truth, and the light. Follow him. And if he makes you a fisher of men, go do that. But do it in the way that he would do it. Be Christ-like and follow him the way you're supposed to follow him. There's no confusion behind it. The only confusion that's going to happen to you in that type of situation, when you find peace, is called temptation. You got to know if you're strong enough to defeat the temptation that's going on in your life. Cherokee, what's going on with you? How you feeling? Those are the things that you have to go through in life, right? If you don't sit there and say, you know what? If I got peace, I know I'm going to be tried with this confusion and chaos. You have to be strong enough to go through the storm. You may need that umbrella. Some people don't want an umbrella. They want a hoodie, whatever it is. The goal is to get home as dry as possible, to get out the storm. Confusion is winning because y'all going out there unprepared. Y'all going out there in shorts and sandals instead of boots because that water is going to accumulate and get into your foot, and God knows what it's going to add to you because of these dirty streets out there. Even these YouTube streets are dirty. We know the truth behind this thing, but you got to find those places to where you can sit down and have a conversation, or sit down and say, you know what, if you don't mind, I would like to add to this positive conversation, or whatever it is that you want to be called, right? If you go about your business and add your little bits and pieces to help somebody improve themselves, I don't do change, because you can change for the worse. I've never heard nobody improve for the worse. I don't care what nobody say, and don't come with no nonsense. If you really believe that somebody could improve for the worse, then whatever. I just don't. I know it can't happen. Improve is for embetterment, empowering yourself to uplift. But if you in confusion, you wouldn't. You just want to change. Why? Because you know it's always going to be a possibility that, hey, I'm a slink. I'm a sell myself short, lower and lower and lower. It's not about that. It's about how can you get away from this confusion? How could you make sure, you know, how could you make sure that your kids don't get caught up in that chaos in that school? How could you make sure that your kids is on the right track when they got people that only want to party, drink, smoke, or whatever? Right? That's part of the teenage, but they're being tried too. We all was tried. We all remember when we was that age, 16, 17. Hey, let's go cut the class and go over here and do this, that, and third. The fellas, yo, we can go slide over to Shorty house. The girls, hey, let's go window shopping at the mall, or whatever we need to do. And that's the thing that that's the thing that we need to focus on. We're trying to win against confusion. We're trying to defeat the confusion in our lives. But as long as you got these type of situations going on, HBCUs under attack, military bases under attack from within, that's where all the confusion starts, because you're so busy looking outside of yourself that you're not looking within yourself to get yourself cleaned up and say, yo, we got to clean this up. Let's get rid of all this junk. We keep sweeping it under the daggone carpet, and now we got a molehill instead of a lump. A lump. You're gonna trip over it sooner or later, and that's why the chickens is coming home to roost now. Sad to say it. It's not about, Charlie Kirk and he said all this and that. You said something because words have power. You added confusion because you went to the utmost to say this about certain people instead of trying to help them, instead of trying to give them a solution. You added more to the confusion, and somebody didn't like it. That's just the truth of the matter. Not saying what happened to him is good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, even this conversation, I could be saying things to bring peace to a situation. If you understand what the truth is, sometimes the truth will set you free, as the Bible says. Sometimes the truth will keep you imprisoned, and you're going to attack that person that is imprisoning you with that truth. So we have to. I'll speak about that another day. But we have to understand within that imprisonment, you're gonna have confusion because you're so angry at somebody wanting to care for you that the wrath of your confusion is going to be on somebody else. You can't get to that person that you're really bad at, so let me take it out on that person. Women, I'm sorry to say, y'all do it all the time. You're so mad at the daddy that you take it out on the child because of the situation that y'all not together no more. Fellas, we do that too. Because we ain't with that woman, we take it out on the child. And guess who's hurting in the confusion? You're building a state of confusion for the child. And he got to go, or he or she got to go through that from whatever age to whatever age, because confusion is going to be winning. There's no peace of mind in those children's eyes. There's no peace of mind in our eyes. Because guess what? Whether you understand, because you're grown, you don't even see that you're still a child. A child in understanding, a child in learning, a child that you still can process the information for your empowerment instead of your detriment. But we don't have those conversations because everybody's too goddamn grown to say that they could take this word and add it to themselves, to imply and say, to apply and say, hey, I understand what brother's saying. I understand what sister's saying. it kind of worked. It may not work for the long period of time. It might be a band-aid or a vitamin, instead of let's go out and find the natural vitamins that's going to help us improve our lives. But we don't have those conversations. Why? Because so many people are afraid to say that the process is correct because they want the credit. They want the glory. I don't want it. That's why I don't even care who's listening. It's there for whoever wants to consume the information. If you don't like it, leave it on the proverbial table. Let somebody else pick it up. Let somebody else read it and see if it works for them. And if it works for them, they'll pass the message on. They'll pass the message on. They'll pass them. You understand? Like, that's how it goes. It's not, I don't need to reach 1,000 people. If it helps somebody, that's all I needed to do. If it helps somebody else, when the next person do it, the next person might have a better reach, a better communication access. They may have it, and they may reach more people. The fact of the matter is, the information is here. You don't have to let confusion win. You don't have to let the chaos that's going on around you touch you. Let the peace that you already have, let it be your shield and your protector. You ain't got to worry about the ways of the world. Inflation. I don't worry about inflation. Why? Because I know I could make things stretch. I could make $1 out of 15 cents, and I can make that dollar stretch into something that other people may not understand. How do I do it? If you really want to know, you're listening to how the process go. You stretch out your piece as far as possible. You let that be your defense. You don't have to live on gluttony. You can live on, I don't need to eat all the time. Not literally, but at the same time, you do have to eat. Your mind has to eat the information. It has to process it. The things that don't work for your mind, get rid of it. But the things that work for it, store it. Let that be your vitamin D for the brain. Let that be the things that get you through your situation. Not literally, but let it allow it to process into your mind. So hey, I remember that they said, yo, if you go about your business, peace will follow you. Let's see if it works. Hey, it works. Okay, that's good for me. Those are the things that you have to do. Stop worrying about if Sister Doohickey is gonna. It doesn't matter what Sister Doohickey gonna say to you. It doesn't matter what brother gonna say to you. It matters of how you feel in the process. How do you feel? It may be tiring to be attacked. Of course it is. But if you have peace, it may chip away. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, that peace will allow you to sit still. I promise you that. So confusion doesn't have to win. Confusion could be a defeated foe. The question is, do y'all want the confusion to be away from you? Right? Each one teach one. That's how we are supposed to be doing it. What works for me, if it works for you, I'm gonna leave it there for you just to apply it. All these years they've been lying to us. Milk does the body good. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. They've been lying to us. Now that this new information is coming to us, if we apply it, if we understand, we don't got to get up. I always question that. I've always questioned, how the hell is breakfast good for you when you eat in the morning? You be tired before you get to the classroom. That's why I don't eat breakfast. But you have to go through the experience. It's okay. It's okay to ask the questions that you need to ask. People say it's not okay to fear God. That's the religious aspect. God wants you to ask the questions, because if you ask the questions, you will get the answers that you need from the person that you're asking it from. He will place it in your heart to say, you know what? If you don't believe what I do, I'm gonna put you in a situation to see why it doesn't work for you. God don't care if you ask him questions. God don't care if you challenge your understanding. He wants you. All right, this is why I am who I am. These are the things that you have to understand. But while you looking outside of you, that he already placed the answers into you. Just like he gave you everything on the earth that could cure you from whatever disease that you have. But we so fixated and indoctrinated on what these doctors are saying. They putting band-aids when you need to get to the root of a situation. We only band-aid it because they say it's right. all of this information. Take the technology that is quote unquote confusing you and apply it to yourself to see if it's going to bring you peace or not. Dandelions, they tell you dandelion is weed, cut it out, but that they give you dandelion pills to make the blood flow better within you. I didn't say that. Just look it up. There's quite a few people that lives on in HOAs and things like. I know it. And as soon as they see them, hey, you got to cut that out. You got to cut that weed out. It's not a weed. Why is it a weed? Because you was told it's a weed, but it's a blessing in disguise. Why? Because they're already going with the confusion. They already said that it's no good, so we're going to believe what they say. But instead of you trying to get the information yourself because you don't want to do the work, you just going with the flow. Stop going with the flow. Stop being on that wide access road when there's going to be traffic there. Go on that narrow road or that quiet back road because nobody's on it. And when nobody's on it, you get the smooth travel to go to the destination that you need to go to. But people don't want to hear that because you want to be with the peoples. It's time for us to be by ourselves. It's time for us to dissect why is it that we want confusion around us, or do we want peace? But you have to do that in your secret closet. And when you do that in your secret closet, it's just you and your conscience. Y'all have that conversation. That conscience is a gateway to elevation, whether you understand it or not. They say the conscience is your first preacher. And the preacher that you talking to, it may not have your voice. It may not be a voice. It might be God just putting it into your mind. This is what you need to do because it's always been inside of you in the first place. And that's why I put it up there, Scorp. I agree with that wholeheartedly because religion is separating you from the spirituality. Religion is a part of the confusion. Religion is a part of the confusion because if you understand there's a good spirit and a bad spirit, and the religion is telling you don't look at your spirit, but look at what we're telling you, that God is coming back and to descend on us. If God is going, God don't want dissension. The God that you serve, here's a breaking news. God don't want dissension. He wants you to ascend. That's why Jesus had to go up into the sky, quote unquote. This is why Enoch was ascended. Everybody that was great, what happened to them? They all ascended. So guess what that means? You got to ascend yourself. You got to elevate from the confusion to find your peace. And I mean spiritually, not literally. There's elevations. That's why when people teach you about chakras, there's an elevation from the root to the crown. That means there's an elevation that occurs. When you like somebody, you elevate that like into a love. Life is about growth. The confusion is not going to tell you that life is about growth. The confusion is going to tell you if you stay where you are, you're good to go. But all of life is about growth. Everything, if you think about it, if you plant a seed, that must sprout. It's going to grow. Your seed, your child is going to grow. And hopefully they will have seeds that will grow. That's all life is about. But when you think about the confusion in the world, there's people not even there's people that's grown before they sprout a good seed. How is that possible? You want to know how it's possible? It's because confusion is winning, and now that it's winning, it's ready to take out whomever is against it. But if you sitting in peace, you have nothing to worry about. You ain't got to worry about if they're coming for you. If they're coming for you and you're doing the right thing, your message is going to help somebody down the line. It's going to elevate somebody down the line. It's going to help somebody grow somewhere down the line. It's up to you to figure out, do you want confusion to win in your life? If you do, I hope somewhere down the line that you get so tired, you get so sick and tired of confusion that you have no other option but to let peace dwell within you, and not the peace with the IECE. I'm talking about the peace that soothes you, that calms you. Even in the greatest of wraths, there's something that soothes you. Maybe it's a vision of your parent that's not here anymore, right? Maybe it's the loss of a loved one. Maybe it's the calmness of a sea. Maybe it's just you sitting in nature. Maybe it's you going fishing. Whatever it is, something that calms you, it should be natural. Nature should calm you. The natural ability of things should calm you. The natural things should not add to confusion. Only man adds confusion because that's what we are. We are creators of confusion. Instead of implementing the peace that's already been instilled to us, a lot of us just add confusion and chaos to a place that don't even deserve to have it. But it's up to you to make sure it don't infiltrate your life. So with that being said, y'all, you guys be careful. You guys decide what it is that you want in your life. I want y'all to win. I want y'all to win with that peace. I want y'all to win with the element of of growth. I don't want confusion to be that weed that chokes out your peace. I don't. I hope that y'all can see the consistency in the conversations that I bring to the table to say, yo, he don't want no harm to come to nobody. Now it's obvious that there's people that's going to harm themselves because they don't want to hear what's being said. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the spirit that dwells with them. And when they're ready, the doors is open for them to I don't shut the doors on nobody. Just because somebody blocks me, I won't block them because they'll find that if I'm doing the right things, they'll find their way back with humility. I won't let confusion win in my life. And I pray with the AY that confusion is not winning in your lives. So with that being said, I truly appreciate everybody coming through. Shout out Cherokee, shout out Scorp, Riaz, the people in the back that's in the Raptors, the people that's in the clouds, that's just listening. I hope this resonates. I hope it touches you to allow you to understand that you can grow out of the confusion and find the peace in your life. So with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, y'all, I'm out.